Have you ever wondered why your legs feel weaker each morning when you get out of bed? Why climbing stairs has become more difficult than it used to be? Why that simple walk to the mailbox now leaves you feeling tired and unsteady? You might think it is just normal aging, but what I'm about to share with you today will completely change how you think about your leg strength and mobility. My name is Dr. Sarah Matthews, and I have been practicing orthopedic medicine for over 25 years. In my decades of treating patients over 65, I have discovered something that shocked me to my core. Something that goes against everything we have been taught about vitamins and supplements. Something that the supplement industry does not want you to know because it would cost them billions of dollars in sales. The truth is this: 4 specific vitamins that millions of seniors take every single day, believing they are helping their health, are actually making their legs weaker, their bones more fragile, and their balance more unstable. These are not exotic vitamins that you have never heard of. These are common vitamins that your doctor might have recommended, that your friends are taking, that you might have sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. What makes this discovery even more alarming is that these vitamins work silently. They do not cause immediate pain or obvious symptoms. Instead, they slowly and quietly rob your legs of their strength over months and years. By the time you notice the weakness, the damage has already been building up in your system for a long time. You see, when we reach our 60s and 70s, our bodies change in ways that most people do not understand. Our metabolism slows down significantly. Our kidneys and liver do not process substances the same way they did when we were younger. Our bones become more porous, and our muscles naturally lose mass. What this means is that vitamins and supplements that might have been harmless or even helpful when we were younger can become dangerous as we age. The 4 vitamins I'm going to reveal today are being taken by over 60% of Americans over the age of 65. That means if you are watching this video, there is a very high chance that you are taking at least one of them right now. And every day that you continue taking these vitamins, you could be making your leg weakness worse. But here is what makes me even more concerned. Most doctors do not know about this connection between these specific vitamins and leg weakness in seniors. Why? Because the research is relatively new, and it takes years for new medical discoveries to make their way into everyday medical practice. The studies showing these dangerous effects have only been published in the last few years, and many physicians are still prescribing these vitamins without understanding the risks for older adults. I want you to understand something very important. I am not here to scare you or to make you stop taking all vitamins. That would be irresponsible and dangerous. What I'm here to do is to give you the truth based on the latest scientific research so you can make informed decisions about your health with your doctor. Before we dive into these 4 dangerous vitamins, I want you to do something for me. If you have been experiencing any of these symptoms, I want you to type the word "yes" in the comment section. If you have been feeling unusually weak in your legs, if you have noticed that standing up from a chair takes more effort than it used to, if you feel unsteady when walking, if your legs feel heavy or tired after minimal activity, if you have been having more frequent muscle cramps in your legs, or if you have noticed that your balance is not as good as it once was. These symptoms might seem unrelated, but they could all be connected to the vitamins you are taking. And if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, then what I am about to share could be the key to getting your strength and mobility back. Also, if this information is helpful to you, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are dedicated to bringing you health information that can truly make a difference in your life, especially information that is specifically relevant for people over 65. Your support helps us continue to research and share these important discoveries. Now let me tell you about the first vitamin that could be weakening your legs without you even knowing it. The first dangerous vitamin: too much vitamin D. This might shock you because vitamin D has been promoted as the miracle vitamin for bone health, especially for seniors. Your doctor has probably told you to take it. The media has praised it. Supplement companies have made billions selling it. But here is what they are not telling you about vitamin D and why it can be dangerous for your legs. Vitamin D is what we call a fat-soluble vitamin. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that your body can easily get rid of if you take too much, fat-soluble vitamins get stored in your fat tissues and can build up to dangerous levels over time. This is especially problematic for seniors because our bodies become less efficient at processing and eliminating excess vitamins as we age. When you take too much vitamin D, particularly the high-dose supplements that are so popular today, your body absorbs too much calcium from your food and supplements. This sounds good in theory, but here is the problem. When you have too much calcium floating around in your bloodstream, it does not just go to your bones where you want it. Instead, it starts depositing in your soft tissues, including your muscles. This condition is called hypercalcemia, and it directly affects your leg muscles in several dangerous ways. First, it interferes with the electrical signals that your nerves send to your muscles. Your muscles depend on precise electrical impulses to contract and relax properly. When there is too much calcium in your system, these signals get disrupted, leading to muscle weakness, particularly in your large leg muscles like your quadriceps and hamstrings. Second, excess calcium from too much vitamin D can cause your muscles to become stiff and less flexible. Have you ever noticed that your legs feel tight and rigid, especially in the morning? This could be a sign that calcium is building up in your muscle tissues. The muscles in your calves and thighs become less able to stretch and contract smoothly, making walking and climbing stairs much more difficult. Third, and this is perhaps the most dangerous effect, too much vitamin D can lead to muscle pain and weakness that gets progressively worse over time. Many of my patients have come to me complaining of deep, aching pain in their legs, particularly in their thighs and calves. They often describe it as a heavy, tired feeling that makes them want to sit down frequently. When we test their blood, we often find elevated levels of calcium caused by excessive vitamin D intake. The recommended daily amount of vitamin D for adults over 70 is 800 international units per day. But many seniors are taking 2,000, 3,000, or even 5,000 international units daily because they think more is better. This is a dangerous mistake. Studies have shown that taking more than 4,000 international units of vitamin D daily can significantly increase your risk of muscle weakness, falls, and fractures. Here is something else that will surprise you. Too much vitamin D can actually make your bones weaker, not stronger. When your calcium levels get too high from excessive vitamin D, your body tries to protect itself by reducing the absorption of calcium from your diet. It also starts breaking down bone tissue to try to balance out the excess calcium in your blood. This leads to a condition where your bones become more brittle and prone to fractures, exactly the opposite of what you are trying to achieve. The symptoms of vitamin D toxicity can be subtle at first. You might notice that you feel more tired than usual. Your legs might feel heavier when you walk. You might have trouble getting up from chairs or climbing stairs. You might experience muscle cramps, particularly at night. Some people develop nausea or lose their appetite. Others notice that they are urinating more frequently, which happens because the kidneys are working overtime to try to eliminate the excess calcium. If you have been taking high doses of vitamin D and experiencing any of these symptoms, it is crucial that you talk to your doctor about getting your vitamin D and calcium levels tested. A simple blood test can tell you if your levels are too high and potentially dangerous. But vitamin D is not the only vitamin that can weaken your legs. The second vitamin on our list might surprise you even more. The second dangerous vitamin, iron overload. Iron is essential for carrying oxygen throughout your body, including to your leg muscles. Without adequate iron, you would feel weak and tired. But here is the problem that most people do not realize. Too much iron can be just as dangerous as too little iron, especially for seniors. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at regulating iron levels. Men over 65 and women after menopause are particularly at risk for iron overload because they no longer lose iron through monthly bleeding. At the same time, many seniors continue taking iron supplements or multivitamins containing iron without realizing that their iron needs have actually decreased with age. When you have too much iron in your system, it does not just sit there harmlessly. Iron is what scientists call a pro-oxidant, which means it promotes the formation of harmful free radicals in your body. These free radicals are like tiny missiles that damage your cells, particularly your muscle cells. Your leg muscles, being some of the largest and most active muscles in your body, are especially vulnerable to this type of damage. The process works like this. Excess iron accumulates in your muscle tissues, where it reacts with oxygen to create reactive oxygen species. These harmful compounds attack the proteins that make up your muscle fibers, causing them to break down and weaken over time. This is why people with iron overload often experience progressive muscle weakness, particularly in their legs. But the damage does not stop there. Too much iron also affects your cardiovascular system, which is crucial for delivering oxygen and nutrients to your leg muscles. Iron overload can damage the lining of your blood vessels, making them less flexible and reducing blood flow to your extremities. When your leg muscles do not get adequate blood supply, they become weak, tired, and prone to cramping. Iron overload also puts tremendous stress on your liver, which is responsible for processing and storing excess iron. When your liver becomes overwhelmed trying to deal with too much iron, it cannot perform its other important functions properly, including producing proteins that are essential for muscle health and strength. One of the most insidious aspects of iron overload is that it often goes undiagnosed for years. The symptoms develop slowly and are often attributed to normal aging. You might notice that you get tired more easily when walking. Your legs might feel heavy and sluggish. You might experience muscle pain, particularly after physical activity. Some people develop a metallic taste in their mouth or notice that their skin takes on a slightly grayish or bronze tint. The connection between iron overload and leg weakness became clear to me when I started seeing a pattern in my older patients. Those who had been taking iron supplements for years, often at the recommendation of well-meaning doctors who were concerned about anemia, were more likely to experience significant leg weakness and mobility problems. Here is what makes this particularly concerning. Many multivitamins marketed to seniors contain 18 milligrams of iron or more. The recommended daily amount of iron for men over 51 and women over 51 is only 8 milligrams per day. This means that many seniors are getting more than twice the iron they need just from their multivitamin, not counting the iron they get from food. Foods that are high in iron include red meat, liver, fortified cereals, spinach, and beans. If you are eating a normal diet that includes some of these foods and taking a multivitamin with iron, you could easily be getting 30 to 40 milligrams of iron per day, which is far more than your body needs and can safely handle. The solution is not to avoid iron completely, because iron deficiency is also dangerous. The key is to work with your doctor to determine your actual iron levels through blood testing. A simple test called a serum ferritin test can tell you if your iron stores are too high, too low, or just right. Based on these results, you and your doctor can decide whether you need to avoid iron supplements, reduce your intake, or continue taking them. If you discover that you have been taking too much iron, do not panic. Iron overload is treatable, and the damage to your muscles can often be reversed with proper management. Your doctor might recommend donating blood regularly to reduce your iron levels, or in severe cases, a treatment called chelation therapy to remove excess iron from your system. The third dangerous vitamin, vitamin A. Toxicity. Vitamin A is crucial for vision, immune function, and cell growth. It is found naturally in foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, and leafy green vegetables, and it is added to many supplements and fortified foods. But vitamin A is another fat-soluble vitamin that can accumulate to dangerous levels in your body, particularly as you age. The problem with vitamin A is that many seniors are getting it from multiple sources without realizing it. You might be taking a multivitamin that contains vitamin A, eating foods fortified with vitamin A, and consuming natural sources of vitamin A in your diet. When you add all of these sources together, you can easily exceed the safe upper limit for vitamin A intake. The upper safe limit for vitamin A is 3,000 micrograms per day for adults. However, many supplements contain much more than this, sometimes up to 10,000 micrograms or more. When you combine supplement intake with dietary sources, it is easy to reach toxic levels. Vitamin A toxicity, also known as hypervitaminosis A, has several effects that directly impact your leg's strength and mobility. First, too much vitamin A interferes with your body's ability to absorb and use vitamin D properly. Since vitamin D is crucial for muscle function and bone health, this interference can lead to muscle weakness and bone fragility. Second, excess vitamin A can cause inflammation in your joints and muscles. This inflammation is often subtle at first, but over time it can lead to significant pain and stiffness, particularly in your knees, hips, and ankles. Many of my patients with vitamin A toxicity describe their legs as feeling stiff and achy, especially when they first wake up in the morning or after sitting for long periods. Third, vitamin A toxicity can affect your liver function, which has cascading effects throughout your body. Your liver plays a crucial role in processing nutrients and producing proteins that are essential for muscle health. When your liver is overwhelmed trying to process excess vitamin A, it cannot perform these other functions effectively, leading to muscle weakness and fatigue. The symptoms of vitamin A toxicity can be easily mistaken for other age-related problems. You might experience bone and joint pain, particularly in your legs and hips. Your muscles might feel weak and tired, especially after minimal exertion. Some people develop dry, rough skin or notice that their hair is becoming thin and brittle. Others experience nausea, headaches, or changes in their vision. One of the most dangerous effects of chronic vitamin A toxicity is that it can accelerate bone loss, making your bones more fragile and prone to fractures. This happens because too much vitamin A interferes with the cells that build new bone tissue, while stimulating the cells that break down old bone tissue. The result is a net loss of bone density, which increases your risk of fractures from falls. What makes vitamin A toxicity particularly concerning for seniors is that it can take months or even years to develop, and the symptoms are often subtle and gradual. You might not realize that your increasing leg weakness and joint pain are related to the vitamins you are taking every day. To avoid vitamin A toxicity, you need to be aware of all the sources of vitamin A in your diet and supplements. Read the labels on your multivitamins and individual supplements carefully. Look for vitamin A content, which might be listed as retinol, retinol acetate, or retinol palmitate. Also be aware that beta-carotene, which is found in orange and yellow vegetables, is converted to vitamin A in your body. If you suspect that you might be getting too much vitamin A, talk to your doctor about reducing your intake and monitoring your symptoms. In most cases, vitamin A toxicity is reversible once you reduce your intake to safe levels. The fourth dangerous vitamin, excessive vitamin E. Vitamin E is promoted as a powerful antioxidant that can protect your cells from damage and support your immune system. Many seniors take vitamin E supplements believing they will help prevent heart disease, cancer, and other age-related conditions. However, recent research has shown that too much vitamin E can actually be harmful, particularly for your muscles and cardiovascular system. Like vitamins A and D, vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means it can accumulate in your body tissues over time. The recommended daily amount of vitamin E for adults is 15 milligrams per day. However, many supplements contain 400 international units or more, which is equivalent to about 267 milligrams, nearly 18 times the recommended amount. Taking high doses of vitamin E can interfere with your blood's ability to clot properly. This might not sound like it would affect your legs, but it actually has several important implications for muscle health and strength. When your blood cannot clot normally, you are at increased risk for internal bleeding, including bleeding into your muscle tissues. This internal bleeding, even when it is microscopic and not visible, can cause inflammation and damage to your muscle fibers. Your leg muscles, being large and heavily used, are particularly susceptible to this type of damage. Over time, this can lead to muscle weakness, pain, and reduced function. Excessive vitamin E also interferes with the absorption and function of other important nutrients, particularly vitamin K. Vitamin K is essential for bone health and proper muscle function. When you take too much vitamin E, it can create a vitamin K deficiency, which can contribute to bone weakness and muscle problems. Another concern with high-dose vitamin E supplements is that they can interfere with certain medications that are commonly prescribed to seniors. If you are taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel, high doses of vitamin E can increase your risk of bleeding complications. This is particularly dangerous if you fall, which becomes more likely when your leg muscles are weak and your balance is compromised. Some studies have also suggested that high doses of vitamin E might actually increase the risk of heart failure in older adults. Since your heart is responsible for pumping blood to your leg muscles, any condition that affects your heart's function can indirectly contribute to leg weakness and fatigue. The symptoms of vitamin E toxicity are often subtle and can easily be attributed to other causes. You might notice that you bruise more easily than you used to. Small cuts might bleed longer than normal. You might feel more tired than usual, particularly in your legs. Some people experience muscle weakness, particularly in their arms and legs. One of the most concerning aspects of excessive vitamin E intake is that it can actually counteract the beneficial effects of other antioxidants in your body. When you take very high doses of vitamin E, it can become a pro-oxidant rather than an antioxidant, meaning it actually promotes the formation of harmful free radicals that can damage your cells, including your muscle cells. To avoid problems with vitamin E, stick to the recommended daily amount of 15 milligrams unless your doctor specifically recommends a higher dose for a particular medical condition. Most people can get adequate vitamin E from their diet by eating nuts, seeds, vegetable oils, and green leafy vegetables. The solution: what you should do instead. Now that you understand how these 4 vitamins can weaken your legs, you might be wondering what you should do instead. The answer is not to avoid all vitamins and supplements, but to take a smarter, more targeted approach to supplementation that is appropriate for your age and individual needs. First and most importantly, you need to work with your doctor to determine your actual vitamin levels through blood testing. This is the only way to know for certain whether you are getting too much, too little, or the right amount of these crucial nutrients. Many doctors are happy to order these tests if you explain your concerns and the symptoms you have been experiencing. For vitamin D, the goal is to maintain a blood level between 30 and 50 nanograms per milliliter. If your levels are in this range, you probably do not need to take high-dose vitamin D supplements. A moderate dose of 800 to 1,000 international units per day is usually sufficient for most seniors. For iron, men over 50 and postmenopausal women often do not need additional iron unless they have been diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia. If you are taking a multivitamin, look for one that is specifically formulated for seniors and contains little or no iron. For vitamin A, try to get most of your intake from food sources rather than supplements. Foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and other colorful vegetables provide beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A as needed. This natural form is much safer than the synthetic forms found in supplements. For vitamin E, 15 milligrams per day is usually adequate for most people. You can get this amount from nuts, seeds, and vegetable oils without needing to take additional supplements. Instead of taking high doses of individual vitamins, focus on a comprehensive approach to leg health that includes proper nutrition, appropriate exercise, and targeted supplementation based on your individual needs. Conclusion and final call to action. Your leg strength and mobility are precious gifts that deserve to be protected and preserved. The information I have shared with you today is based on the latest scientific research and my own clinical experience treating thousands of seniors over the past 25 years. If you have been taking any of these 4 vitamins in high doses and experiencing leg weakness, muscle pain, or balance problems, I encourage you to talk to your doctor as soon as possible. Do not stop taking your supplements suddenly without medical supervision, but do discuss your concerns and ask about blood testing to determine your current vitamin levels. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate all vitamins from your routine, but to find the right balance that supports your health without causing harm. With the proper approach, you can maintain strong, healthy legs well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. If this information has been helpful to you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more health information specifically designed for seniors. Share this video with your friends and family members who might also benefit from this information. Most importantly, take action on what you have learned today. Your legs carry you through life, and they deserve your attention and care. With the right knowledge and approach, you can keep them strong and healthy for many years to come. Thank you for watching. And remember, your health is your most valuable asset. Protect it wisely.